We will be using the Pro-Cut on-vehicle brake lathe from GM Tools. If you are using a different lathe, be sure to refer to the directions included with that equipment. For this procedure, we need to ensure that the caliper and caliper bracket are clear from contacting any rotating components, such as the brake rotor or the lathe. Confirm that the lug nuts and conical washers used during LRO measurement have been removed. As you know, cleaning is vital in any brake procedure, and these steps were already performed on this vehicle. Cleaning is also critical to providing a clean contact surface for the brake lathe adapter. Next, install the appropriate adapter onto the face of the rotor in place of the wheel. Never use an impact gun to install the adapters. Always use a hand wrench to avoid damaging the adapter. Install all lug nuts and hand tighten. Match the drive pin from the adapter to the lathe while making sure that the cutting head is positioned so that the tips won't strike the rotor. To connect the lathe to the vehicle, turn the mounting knob to thread the center axle into the adapter. Reposition the lathe until the knob turns freely. This pulls the lathe up to the adapter and securely engages the drive pin. Recheck that there are no obstacles, such as the hanging brake caliper or a splash guard, that could inhibit the movement of the lathe during the cutting operation. Never turn the machine on when you are in the wheel well. Be sure your arms and legs are clear before operating the lathe. Loosen the cutting head clamp and center it on the rotor. Tighten the clamp to secure its position. Next, adjust the shutoff cam to contact the automatic shutoff switch plunger as soon as the cutting bits reach the edge of the rotor. This will ensure the lathe does not contact the wheel housing. The next step is allowing the lathe to automatically compensate for lateral runout. Ensure that you are clear of the lathe and then turn the motor on. Start compensation by pressing and holding the start button for 2 seconds. The measurement and adjustment process is completely automatic. The lathe will make clicking sounds during this measurement and adjustment process. This is normal. Red and green lights will indicate the status of the adjustment throughout the short process. If both of the green lights are illuminated, this indicates that the runout is less than 1/1000th of an inch. The actual runout measurement will also show in the display. After a successful setup, the lathe is ready to make the cut. Move the cutting head to the center of the rotor braking surface. Adjust the inner cutting bit until it just contacts the rotor. Then, adjust the outer bit in the same way. Carefully move the cutting head inward until the bits have cleared the inner edge of the braking surface. Be careful to not allow the bits to contact the rotor top hat area, as this will damage the lathe. The cutting range is between 2/1000ths and 15/1000ths of an inch per side, but remember, it is best to take off as little as needed in order to extend the life of the rotors as well as maintain good customer satisfaction. Next, install the silencer over the cutting head. The silencer must be properly seated to avoid chatter and degradation of the surface finish. Press the adjustment knob inward to begin cutting. The cut should only take about 2 to 3 minutes depending on the size of the rotor. Typically, Only one pass will be required to obtain a proper finish. To complete the procedure, remove the lathe from the adapter. Thoroughly clean the rotor friction surfaces with approved brake cleaner to prevent brake noise, and finally remove the adapter from the hub.